Jake?
Jake.
Thanks, Zoe.
It said Jake.
Second match.
It said
I'm
Jake
Jake.
in the lower third.
I'm not Jake. I am Jack or Jaws.
Not Matt either.
There is, to be fair, there is a lot of JAs or like J names. Johnny, Jake, Jaws.
Johnny, Jake, Jaws, Jack.
It's silly. It is really silly. But we are getting into the game. Let's get it. Geekay banning a Tracer away from Zomba, and Extinction gonna ban the hat. We're going to Oasis. I can't think now. I can't believe that she really did me like that. As we go to Oasis as our first map. Oh, I did. Okay, apparently it was in the lower third. I didn't see that, but.
It did actually say Jake. You
That's
actually
fine.
got done dirty by production.
That's fine. Jake's a handsome lad. I don't mind that at all. All right, let's jump into this next series, Rose. Geekay versus Extinction. What are the expectations here? Because Extinction did go to map 5 versus Nightmare the other week.
That's right.
It was, I wouldn't say it was a game of Overwatch of all time, for sure, especially when you look to like Gibraltar and stuff, but Extinction really fought back. Like Zomba was frying, honestly, on the Tracer, and you can see why. If they're going to a control map, they want to ban that away. Zomba, one of the best Tracer players I think we have in North America, and Jake actually, a long time ago, and even Joystick just then too, was saying that Zomba, without being a pro, especially back in the Overwatch League days, was like, why is this guy not up there with the very best? Like his Tracer is a thing to be feared.
I feel like it was just a matter of time. And maybe sometimes for some of those players too, you just kind of miss that window to be a part of a team. There is so much that you learn from being able to be on a contenders team, really trialing for a lot of these bigger professional Overwatch teams, whether it was in the Overwatch League or in Overwatch Champion Series. I think sometimes it's just like experience working with a team that can really set you apart from all the rest. So I love that now we've got this open ecosystem. Zomba gets a chance to really show off in North America. I think does come into this as a DPS that you have to consider as a big part of this equation. Wob as well, I think, is another player that for a long time, I think when you take a look at a lot of the DPS development in the professional Overwatch space, a lot of those slots were taken up by players from South Korea or just in the Asia Pacific region. And now we've got North America all to ourselves. We get a chance to see Wob and Zomba alongside all of these other incredible players really hit the server. So I like seeing the Sombra Sojourn come out from this Extinction crew. We're gonna see that matched on Geekay as well, and just a mirror across the board.
Yeah, complete mirror, which is not something we used to see. To be honest, Lethal ends up getting hit by a virus there and followed up by Scuff. Very fast comps, like you said, with these Winstons. You're basically just relying on a manual hack. Like, that's who you're trying to jump on as soon as Wub gives the call. Looks like they're aiming for the Lucio next. Admiral managing to skirt away, though. The Extinction, even though they got a kill, Rose, they're struggling to actually finish this fight. And because it's taken so long, Mymone found an opening and killed Zomba.
Now you're losing such a big source of this DPS as well, and we see this Venn diagram of Winston bubbles still holding down that front line. Geekay, at the end of the day, get this capture, and there's still a fight being put up here from Extinction. I think we need to see Extinction actually fully disengage, come back in as a team, and it's going to take a bit of time. I think with a Sombra composition like this, it is a lot easier to operate once you've already had control of the point. It gives you a lot of the agency to actually try to set the pace of these fights. With that Sombra positioning, you already got the hack on all of these important health packs as well that the Winstons are going to be using. And Lethal set up too on the Sojourn. It's going to take time for Extinction to actually get a wrap.
Yeah, exactly. And because you have all that space, like, they walk in, you're behind them, you hit them with a virus, and you hit them with a hack, and then it's over. Mymone's pretty close to an EMP as well, only 20% away. Well, not too far behind, 10%, but that really does matter, especially on control. You being able to get a big ultimate like that, and a fight-winning ult is extremely important to get it online first. Scuff TPing forward, they have the rush, but again, Mymone's just going to be buying his time now for Geekay.
It's also tough too because I think you look at what else Geekay has and they can initiate with any of this. It's going to be Scuff pulling the trigger onto the Kitsune rush first, but not too long after. Geekay sees an opening to let theirs go.
Wob kills 2 in this fight as well. Admiral ends up going down. Cover's got the Primal Rage, instantly pulls it, chasing Scuffed away. Wob finds 3rd in the fight, but the EMP from Mymone is going to make this fight incredibly tough for Extinction. Cover just juggles Satori away. She doesn't even hit the traffic. Karfa just doing so much damage. And 20% to go, Rose. Sound barrier for NY, sound barrier for Abel. Lethal with the railgun is versus this EMP. Wub, this is going to have to be a giant one.
And it's so easy to try to actually stabilize against this when Admiral has that sound barrier. So where does Wub approach? And it's Lethal to die first.
Oh, wow. The Ultraviolet's going to go down as well. So actually, Nemwai is going to use the beat. Okay. A little passively there by Nemwai. Not sure you needed that one, but they end up just securing the point regardless. Tori's going to get taxied from the spawn, but just those neutral kills, Rose. They don't have to use their EMPs. They can use it for next fight. Hopefully catch Admiral off guard.
Yeah, really good that they were able to hold on to the EMP and they didn't pull the trigger on two big ultimates there. Just the one in the sound barrier. Look at that. They get caught by the EMP as soon as they walk in.
Yeah, perfect stuff. You have so much space control. That is the fight over with already. Geekay, they don't spend too much time hanging around, though. Quick resets, and they'll be back in the action in a moment.
I think Geekay know, too. As soon as they got hit by the EMP and Admiral got caught in it, there's no use in actually trying to fight that out. Die quickly, reset, come back in. You've got barrier advantage because you saw Nenwai just use it, and Lethal still has this overclock.
They're doing it in a spawn, Rose. Primal Rage is going to get flung in as well as Lethal just gets batted away, but still manages to snipe out Zomba and Scuffed. 99% for Geekay. They've only lost Lethal. And this fight, which looked very winnable for Extinction there, gets met with an Admiral sound barrier as they overextend.
Wow, I mean, the Admiral sound barrier was just so good on top of all of that extra health for Lethal to be able to go in with the overclock and at least push back the spawn. Jack, I almost felt like Extinction overcommitted there in terms of being able to try to get to the spawn doors. It left Geekay with the perfect timing to just go in with the sound barrier overclock combo, push everybody back, and it didn't matter if Hattori actually killed Lethal at the end of it. But, oh, let's see the boop. Oh.
Nice boot from Admiral there.
Yeah, it was super good.
Yeah, the overextension, and then, okay, we want to get Admiral's sound barrier out, and we can stay in the fight because we have Primal Rage. Then they don't count on Lethal hitting 2 shots and taking 2 out. Rough stuff there for Extinction. Geekay find the win in that first round. Compositional swaps though from both sides. Hattori and Kuffa now on Orisa.
Orisa, I think, is just going to be a little bit better here in these close quarters, so it doesn't really surprise me too much that we're going to see a different look from these tanks, as well as just the general composition that's going to support this. Although there are 2 different takes on the board. Extinction's going to go with a bit more of this like Freya Gen.G, really utilizing the high ground presence that's available on this map, versus Geekay, which are going to fight a little bit closer together as a team. You've got this Brig Cassidy that's going to play really closely alongside that Orisa, and then you've got Mimone playing that Adrian in the back line of Extinction. Whew.
That's a very fast approach there from Zomba and Nenwai. As soon as that Orisa went down, they tried to get the trade, but unsuccessful. Freya for Wub 2. Lethal on the Cassidy. Has a preference to play the like pure hit scans over something like the Freya.
But we do see the switch. So Wub is going to go ahead and go over to the Sojourn. Maybe still getting access to that high ground while still also having a bit more of that one-shot potential. I guess you got a little bit of an easier way to spray and pray too, to try to scout for the Sombra.
Yeah, this high ground's going to be pretty important here for Extinction. It's going to give Lethal less of an angle. Same with Mimo. Nemwai's already dead though to Lethal. Dear, that's not a good start there for Extinction. Everybody's super low. Zomba goes in for the dash. Does get one a reset onto Admiral, but that lamp is going to help. It's going to help Lethal out quite some. I mean, look at that. Can't do anything about it at all. This backline with Ultraviolet staying alive there. Again, is Extinction trying to finish these fights. They end up getting picks, but they cannot then proceed to get the next, the next, the next. It's Geekay's. One of their backliners is always staying alive throughout these fights and being able to capitalize on the fact that Extinction are overextending.
I mean, the unkillable backline, whether it's going to be the cookies over to the Sombra or you just have that BAP, that Immortality Field leaving Lethal alive for so long buys you time for that big cooldown to come up with the AoE healing on the BAP. And so, especially with the Amplification Matrix up too, like, you kind of just have to bully your way past this, but Mimone's ready.
Wow, yeah, Mimo just get hit the EMP, but NY ends up taking down the Sombra. You saw NY there actually did back for half a second. It wasn't EMP and it did get the kill onto Scuffed, but NY surviving here is going to be pretty big for Extinction. They're so close to sound barrier, and in fact Extinction just going to walk all over the point. So saving Blade, saving Terror Surge, basically everything apart from that rush. They managed to get an early pick on UV, yes, but saving this many ults, again, similar situation to first round.
I think that was really excellent call there by Extinction, because now they get to go in with this Blade with the sound barrier behind it too. It's forcing out so many ultimates from Geekay.
Yeah, Terror Surge is going to come in. This rally is good for Admiral. Ends up picking up the mega health pack, so it doesn't go down to Zomba. An Emmanuel hack and a spear will finish off of the Gen.G. And now Wub can try and hold the door here in the front line with the ult, but that Terror Surge from Cuppa just drags Wub in to the firing line as Geekay just walk over Extinction on that point. That Cuppa Terror Surge just won on the map, Rose. 92%. There's one person to touch. Zomba's been hacked already, and Geekay, they're going to the spawn.
Yeah, perfect timing there from Cuppa. They can go touch the spawn doors and complete that little challenge for extra credit. And Geekay, they take this map 2-0. Really not too many flaws in the system. I felt like every time they did lose out a fight, it was because they just had a maybe mistimed an ultimate, or Extinction got the better of them, being able to actually just hold strong against like the EMP, or finding really good fights there with their own ults. And an expected result so far, I think, for this series.
Yeah, just a little bite though for Extinction, to be fair. Just their ability to finish the fights is a little rough on the face of it. They're getting these early picks and you're like, okay, you're up 4v5, and you can see the idea is just to get in there. Like, okay, we found one, we keep the momentum going, but the ability for the backline for Geekay to stay alive is just crazy. Like, and also Lethal picking up these kills here while getting battered by Hattori is not only a testament to the skill, obviously, of Lethal there, but also the backline kind of keeping him alive a little bit. Like, it's a really tough matchup for sure. But I think there are still some bright spots, like you said, especially for someone like Zomba.
Yeah, Zomba, I think, looked fairly good on the Gen.G, being able to go in with a lot of confidence and get those dash resets. But I think at the same time, you have to look at, well, Extinction, I think, have had some fairly good matches, but unfortunately, just haven't really been able to come out on top. And I think that goes back to what you were saying before about really following through on a lot of the commitments that they make in some of those fights, maybe just like not quite being at the same timing as they need to in order to like get the EMP to work, or even like the sound barrier. I think in that first round of Oasis was not as necessary from the Lucio as maybe holding it for another fight.
Yeah, their win in the season so far has been against Dilducks, and that was in week number 1. A little 3-0 for the squad. The second closest series they had was against Nightmare. The map 5, we went all the way. Zomba really turned it up. They do have potential. They really do. I think Zomba, again, kind of has to have one of those games where he just goes crazy on the Tracer. And now the Tracer has been banned on Control, you can pick somewhere a little bit more favorable to him. So if you were Extinction, where are you going now?
Well, I think you have to look at maybe like Midtown, I think would be fairly good for the Tracer. I think if you wanted to play Tracer, you could also, or even like Tracer Gen.G, then maybe you can also take a look at something like a Suravasa if you really wanted to. I think honestly, Tracer is fairly good in most of our map pool. Tracer and Winston. So I think maybe, oh gosh, do we even go to like Gibraltar? I should go to Gibraltar too, huh? King's Row also very good.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Tracer very good on a lot of these maps. Winston too. Everybody's been kind of tentatively playing Winston, it feels like, especially when Hazard's available. I think any kind of Flashpoint map's going to be good. Runasapi especially as well. A very, very strong map type for both teams. Fits the skill set pretty well of Hattori too.
Oh, looks like we're going to Suravasa, I think, if that graphic updated correctly, with the lock button.
Yeah, Suravasa will be the map here. No substitutions either side either. So same 10 entering the server. Yeah, okay, just have a little Tracer game and you're going to be all good. Zomba's Gen.G is decent. It really is. But the Tracer is just really on another level and help them find success in the maps against Nightmare. We'll see what the bans are for Geekay. I can imagine if you're them, like, do you just opt to go for something like a Juno ban, something that will stop the rush from Extinction? Because Hattori can play ball, she can play the Winston, but the rush is where I think they found a lot more success on, at least in recent times.
Yeah, I think it's tough because I honestly, for Extinction, it looks like we have 2 Wrecking Ball bans. No, but you're right, actually. It is just the Juno and the Wrecking Ball. And I think either of these are really smart. For Extinction, I think just because we know Hattori can play so many different tanks, I almost kind of wish that they would be able to stick to one type of composition to start and then just really focus on mastering something like that. But it makes a lot of sense to see the Wrecking Ball banned here. Hattori has played Wrecking Ball in several of the past series for Extinction, and the Juno similarly has been such a big tool for Geekay. Just being like having double speed or having like Juno, Kiriko. I think there's a lot of really great combinations that taking the Juno out of the pool is a really good tool for.
There we go. We're back.
We're so back.
Suravasa. Yeah, I think the Wrecking Ball ban, very well targeted, and especially since this has been one of the more popular Wrecking Ball maps as well. Like, look at SSG, for example. Arissa on the side of Geekay. Extinction, though, happy with the dive. Hattori not wanting to match up against Cuffer. And normally when you're the underdog team, you probably don't want to go for the mirror. This is like, it's very like Overwatch League coded, but the amount of like mirror metas we had where you just kind of had to play the same thing, and the underdog team would just always just flop, like they would lose, right? Because you're just playing the comp against a better team and they're playing the same thing, so the styles in which you're playing are roughly similar. So it feels, at least right now, if Hattori's playing this, you're expecting a little bit more out of Extinction. Although, saying that, Geekay will end up winning that first fight and cap the point.
But not without a couple of casualties on their own roster. I mean, Extinction did put up a pretty good fight for that first round. And not going to work out for them this time. But still, I think that does go to show that you were onto something with talking about not wanting to play the mirror. If Extinction can continue to play their own game with this Winston Tracer dive, then I think this is something that could actually start to find a lot of success in this map. But I think your struggle is you've got Geekay that's going to be ripping through your backline while Hattori is trying to make some type of rotation on this Winston, and that just played out before our eyes.
Yeah, you can't lose people on the entrance either. Like, this dive comp wants to execute a dive on a single target or a couple of people as a team, and yeah, losing Wub instantly is not good. Couple of packs there thrown towards Lethal. She takes a very early peek there at Extinction. You have to go for this final touch.
Oh, I think you can try to get the touch here, but it's still a rough one. I mean, look at this. Tracer's almost out of health. The bubble's already been popped there by the Winston, but maybe not all hope is lost yet. There's still a pulse bomb for Zomba.
Man, yeah, and Geekay just running around Hattori right now. She's having a real tough time. Pulse bomb misses there for Maimone. Tanks end up trading, though. And now Zomba also misses the pulse, so, you know, 1 for 1 on missed pulses for both Tracers. So here comes the point flip does happen, but the likelihood of you keeping that is very slim, especially with that window from UV.
Yeah, the window comes through, and now I feel like the rest of the dominoes could follow, but there is a lot of pressure onto this backline. Ultraviolet is forced to actually back up alongside Maimone as Extinction try to get the jump on this opportunity.
Yeah, I like this really aggressive push as well. If you can get another pick here onto Lethal, it's going to be good. Although, saying that, cover capped. Oh, Zomba. Oh. Speared and put on the barbecue there. Unlucky Zomba. And then Nemwa ends up going down. They end up overextending a little bit too much there. You know, killing Lethal is great, but you still need someone to touch the point. So Geekay with the flip, and then Cuffer basically soloing this entire fight. And Geekay will end up capping that point up. Extinction don't even get a chance to use their Primal Rage, which would have been great for their level of success, or their chances of success even.
Wow, I mean, I think even if you use the Primal Rage there, I think you still struggle with having enough bodies left to come in and help you finish out that contest. So, overclock now for Lethal.
I really like going this early too. Again, find the pick, especially on targets that are super split. gonna be nice. And there you go, there's the Primal Rage from Hattori on the point, but an instant rally bash. And look at the health bar of Hattori already. She's already half HP. Sound Barrier is at least going to supplement that as Extinction want to keep the fight going. Admiral's rally nowhere to be found now. Zomba takes the kill, and even the window from UV, who's sitting at 1 HP, is going to assist in Lethal picking up a couple of frags of his own. Geekay still managed to win that fight despite Hattori's heroics.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, Lethal just being able to get a double there. Was that actually a collab?
Think so. Close to, honestly, at this point, I expect a lot of things from Lethal. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's true.
Sure. I don't think so, though.
It's been a long time, but oh, Pulse Bomb goes a little too wide there from Zomba. And it's also really early for Extinction. Maybe just trying to get them a little bit of space, but I feel like that would have been better served to hold on to. It does buy some time, at least for a dive to start to get set up by Extinction.
Man. Unfortunately, Wub Nation has fallen again. That is, yeah, Wub just being picked off over and over again. And it's funny, too, because Cuffer is using this Terror Surge just to get Wub. Wub was dashing up to the high ground. Cuffer used Terror Surge to grab Wub back down again. Yeah, Tori probably should have hit the reset button there, jumped off the map a little bit earlier, because this staggered fight is just not it. It's going to be up to Zomba to touch. I think Zomba, though, is dueling out with Mimone.
Definitely kept busy right now. You can see there's 3 seconds remaining, and there's no orange outline in sight. That's a second flashpoint here for Geekay as they move on to the third with ults to spare. It's gonna be Scupper Extinction having this Kutsuna rush, maybe throw into this next fight, but really, like Geekay, close to this flashpoint, they get a chance to actually maybe even take a mid fight here, Jack. Got the overclock, maybe they actually surprise Extinction with this.
And the game plan here for Extinction is just basically wait for Geekay to approach the choke, then jump on him.
Yeah.
And hopefully get a kill. Might even invest the early rush as well. The point is pretty close to actually being unlocked, so wouldn't hate it, honestly, if I was Scuff. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Jump on them as soon as they try and transition through the choke. But of course, Lethal comes up with an early kill. Headshots Wub, but Wub's already out of the fight. Ultraviolet does end up getting traded, but again, Lethal. Like, how? So many kills just on his own on an island. That was just Rory jumping over Lethal's head.
I mean, there's still a couple of kills going the way of Extinction, but I feel like Lethal just starting that off so strong, and Kappa still has the gold. Not for too much longer, so Extinction do win out that fight at the end of the day, but I feel like that had the legs to kind of start to go bad. Lethal just starting things off so strong with that overclock. But Extinction here, I mean, with this Primal Rage soon, Sound Barrier as well, there's going to be a lot of just extra health to throw at this, but Lethal just keeps getting these first picks.
This is insane. Lethal's like first pick percentage here, I thought it was quite ridiculous. That was an aggressive Sound Barrier from NEMY. Connects though, and that's what matters. Primal Rage in the back. However, this rally once again matched as Satori's life is going to be a little tough, especially with these flails too. Pulse Bomb from Zomba though hits, connects with Ultraviolet, and there's the backline dead. The commotion eventually ends as it is only a couple left, although still holding on to the point for a little bit as Extinction get the flip at 60.
Good fight coming through here from Extinction. They might have had to invest a lot into that last one to secure the flashpoint, but now last fight territory. Wub with the overclock. Scuff might even have this Kitsune rush ready to go, and look at how aggressive Extinction want to take this fight. They want to make it so that Geekay doesn't have a chance to touch this flashpoint.
Well, Wub takes out Ultraviolet as well as the lamp. Here comes Cover from around the corner, playing bodyguard right now, but no CDs really left. There's Spear Spit, it's got the Terror Surge, but Wub's got a dash. And yep, that cap comes through. Geekay, they lose the tank, but they've got the cap. Can Wub actually get back to the point? Admiral succumbs to the railgun, as Extinction should get the flip again.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that cap doesn't actually amount into much. It's still gonna have to be Mind Mode to touch to re-trigger the overtime, and Cup is gonna come back on the Doomfist to hopefully aid in this process. As Lethal with the overclock here, this is how you settle a score.
Oh, misses the shot, and then Wido lands one body shot onto Wub, but that bubble is gonna be the final nail in the coffin there, unfortunately, for Lethal. Bubble just out LOSing it. Whole spot on the wall. No. All ults done. That's Extinction capping the point. Good little bap cap initially there from Geekay, but they couldn't keep it popping, Rose, like you said. That'll be 1 point on the board. Okay, Extinction not out of this just yet.
No, this is awesome. I mean, look at how much they get to go into this next flashpoint with. This is Pulse. They still held on to the Primal Rage and the Sound Barrier as well. And so I think this is really a good sign for Extinction to actually take us to a 5th flashpoint. Now, they still have to deal with this rally from Admiral, and I think if you allow these fights to get a little too close quarters is where the Orisa and the Brick can really start to turn the tide. But Extinction have a lot of ability here to just kind of set the pace. Oh, they even go in early with the aggressive beat again.
Although this rally, again, is going to be so annoying. Admiral's got this rally at the perfect time every time. Primal Rage in the small room is going to bat people away from the window, but a lot of Geekay is still shooting through it, so Hattori cannot stick around for too long. And you can see the health bar of the Winston just melting as Geekay get the flip mid-fight again. 15% for Extinction. They're not out of this. Wub's got the overclock, takes down Admiral, but this is a scrappy fight if I ever did see one. Wub and Lethal trade, so Sojourn's out of the fight, but Geekay still hold on to the point, and they've got Cuffer alive, and that's what's most important right now. Being able to hold and control spaces, the Orisa is what she does best, and it is My Moan that cleans up the last couple of kills, and they take that point away, and they gain 40% for their troubles as well.
But you hit the nail on the head. It was not clean. This was a lot of chaos that I feel like Zomba in particular on this Tracer truly thrives in. Same with Maimon, which was able to close it up. But Scuff comes in with the Kitsune Rush. Extinction are back as a full team of 5, and they are able to sneak the cap away from Geekay as Geekay regroup here. They know that they can go in with this overclock.
Really nice kite there from Ultraviolet, dashing away, but Wub's Disruptor Shot finishes him off in the end, but they've lost Hattori, and they've lost the cap again, as Geekay sneaks it away. I mean, Lethal with this railgun, I mean, the overclocks have just been stupendous from the Sojourn. 20% to go. Extinction maybe get a touch for Hattori, but it's looking unlikely.
Oh, it's really not looking very easy to accomplish after that, too. Even if you get the touch, there's not really a lot to follow up after that, and you've got to walk into this Terror Surge from Kuffa. It's slim pickings here for Extinction.
Yeah, Hattori jumped in, double Gmaul ADS spec, dead. There's no chance of the Winston. Geekay with a 3-1 on Suravasa. They're on match point.
Oh, just being able to capture that first flashpoint gave me so much hope for Extinction to be able to get back into the series, but I think Geekay confidently shuts the door on that and brings us into this 3rd map with a lot of confidence behind their play.
Yeah, I mean, expected result here for Geekay being 2-0 up, but Extinction, they still got fire in them, which is good to see. But I think Lethal is just... he's just the devil in this server. It's a nightmare dealing with this guy. Like, being able to just pop people like that with the overclock or just with the neutral rail just over and over again, first in the fight, like, you're fighting 4v5. Every single small engagement, it feels bad. I mean, Lethal is just on a tear, but you can't really expect anything less, honestly, from him. He's just an absolute beast. Was a beast on London Spitfire back in the day as well. I mean, yeah, he's not stopped clicking on people's heads, Rose. Like, a menace, a true menace.
I think it's tough to play against a player that's having this much impact as well, because like you can't peek around a corner without fear that Lethal's gonna take your head off. You also need to check your corners, because what if Lethal is behind you? Think about how many times both Lethal and Wub were able to take some type of off angle to just like make their presence known on the server. And yeah, you gotta watch your back. Like, it's gonna be Lethal, it's gonna be Maimon, it's gonna be the DPS on Extinction as well, really looking for those openings. But this map was still closer than what we saw for the first one, so I feel like Extinction, they are finding ways to carve out a little bit of hope and victory in this match. Yeah,
I mean, a little dogfighty, I agree, especially on that last point. Those fights in the small little rooms. It's kind of not too much of a surprise considering the comps as well, like Winston, Tracer, Soj. Like, you want to take fights early, and the way Hattori is using the Primal Rage too, it's not like, okay, I'm kind of isolating people, I'm hitting the Primal, killing one, jumping back. It's, I'm gonna jump to the back line, force an ult out of Admiral, and then we hope we can win the fight if I can boop someone away and then maybe Zomba kind of follows up. But Admiral and Ultraviolet, they're just staying alive unless Zomba has got a pulse bomb. Like, that's it. Admiral has got a rally every single time Hattori's got Primal Rage, and it's making it impossible to actually create that space with the Primal. So, yeah, the dive versus the rush, it can work out, but not for Extinction, not this time around.
It really does require a different level of coordination that I feel like it takes years for some teams to try to develop to actually get the dive to work against Brawl. So I think like there's still some points to really be excited about for this particular matchup, but I don't know, maybe with Runasapi, maybe it's a little bit more open. Maybe the Winston dive is going to be a little bit better with some of these walls to play around. So I think Runasapi is still a great choice if you want to continue to play this dive into this Orisa.
Yeah, a Wrecking Ball can't be banned, but Ball not so great on this map. It's like okay at best. But yeah, if you want to play the Winston here, you definitely can again. But will Hattori want to do that? Do they want to go back to something like an Orisa, just a rush style instead of the dive? Because yeah, it could go Ram, because it didn't work out on that last map. Zomba's going to be playing Tracer. I want to see big things from the Sojans, though. You got to catch up to Lethal somehow, some way. It feels impossible, but there's still something in Extinction, I believe.
I agree with you, and I think that I still just want to kind of see them stick to one type of play style and see if they can continue to work out the kinks a little bit about how to maybe play it a little bit smoother. Because I do think that there's a lot of different things available, and it's kind of like the same Team Liquid problem. You know, this team, right, I think has a lot of different looks that it can play, but how do you actually try to master something if you continue to try to play strategically around every single thing? I think the Ramattra could work. I think the Winston has looked really good. You just have to find ways to actually string together those team fights, which is easier said than done, especially when you're playing against Geekay that wants to cause this chaos.
I think if you're Extinction here too, I think you ban Sojourn. You ban Sojourn first because Lethal does like to play like Sojourn, Ashe, like Cast, like that kind of thing, and then you don't have to worry about Lethal just kind of popping heads every 5 seconds. And then you can just pivot onto a Tracer Freya kind of comp, although Freya's not been seen too much today. I think that's probably what you have to do. You have to target the DPS in bans, I think, because if you're taking away like a rush tank, it's like, okay, fine. If you take away Orisa, we play Ram. Like, if you want to play into the dive, that's fine. Like, Cuffer's a good Winston too. Like, I don't think a large amount of value can be obtained through banning a tank here. And yeah, there you go. Okay, so Sojourn ban for Extinction, Lucio for Geekay. So Geekay have done something, they've done Extinction kind of dirty here, to be honest, because you want to play the Lucio. NY wants to jump on that and play fast with a Winston. So now you're kind of forcing them like, okay, do we play the Winston with a Juno and a Kiriko? You don't have perma speed? Like, it's... Geekay have really shoved Extinction in a corner here.
I mean, I feel like we have seen that before, though, from teams where we've seen like the Juno and the Kiriko can actually work as a part of the Winston dive. But I think the bigger issue with a lot of this is that, like, I don't know if we've actually seen Extinction want to play too many other options. Yeah, I don't know. Because I think the Lucio ban too really hurts you if you actually want to play something like the Ramattra. You would really love to have that Lucio as a part of that. And so, yeah, like if you play Ramattra or you play Orisa, you have to play Juno Brig? Or like, do you want to play an Ana here?
Oh, an Ana would be spicy, but against the Orisa, it's like, it sucks.
So hard.
It is not good. But yeah, this makes sense. I mean, Extinction, no Lucio, so they're on the rush. Zomba, Wub, Tracer, Cass versus Mimone, Sombra, Lethal, Cassidy.
So interesting that Mimone wants to play the Sombra again. Yeah, but I feel like that was a pick that did actually work out when we were on Suravasa. You play I'm thinking of Oasis at the very first part, kind of like one of the biggest differences between Geekay and Extinction. Mimone really loves to play this Sombra. I think the Sombra is so good, especially versus these Orisa teams, because, I mean, think about the squishy targets that you have. Scuffed, very, very squishy. That was an easy pickup here for Geekay after landing that hack, and now you get a chance to hack out like the Tracer, Cassidy. They both become so much more vulnerable if they're hacked.
It's so hard because what you're doing as Mimone is you're playing around like a large like AoE of where Wub can be effective against you, and then you're just, okay, if I can get a manual hack and a virus on somebody, Scuffed or someone on side of Extinction has to turn around. Zomba wants to be on an off angle kind of, right? Like peppering away and then going for a bit of pressure on the back line. And then Scuffed is like, I have to heal Hattori in the front line because the amount of damage that Lethal and Cuffer are doing to the Orissas, it's just too much. And it's a catch-22 situation for Scuffed there, unfortunately. Mimone's doing exactly the same thing again. Just hack, virus from a range, and yeah.
Can teleport out of there.
Looking around.
Oh, that's a good pick, though.
Okay. Well, coming up strong. Like that a lot. Little 2K. For what? 8 minutes to go. So only a little bit of meters there. But this is the next big fight. No window for UV, but an EMP for Mimone. Nenwai, even if you use the rally, it's very hard to sustain through that EMP with just that ult.
Yeah, that's why we really look at sound barrier as something that can help just to kind of trigger enough of that overhealth so that you can actually stabilize. But you're right, like, I mean, it's tough because the rally too, like, you need to be close, actually get the inspired healing, and I think, oh
my, what a stick from Zomba.
Oh,
unfortunately, no lamp exists. And there's the EMP. Yep. That's Zomba creating a little bit of space there, but yeah, EMP is just too good. Hattori and Nenway didn't end up using ults, so you're happy to save that rally for next.
You are. I thought maybe this was so good. Like, if you actually get in there with the pulse bomb, you force out the immortality field out of the BAP, then you get a chance to actually go in with something like the Terror Surge rally on top of that. It's a huge investment in terms of ultimates, but I feel like really surefire way to get that huge skill out of the Baptiste, and then you go in and you really commit with the rest of those ults. But now it's like Geekay are going to be the ones that actually pull the trigger first. There is an orbital ray from Scuff, but you're hacked.
Yeah, it's all good though, because Admiral is caught on an off angle. Both rallies and Terror Surges thrown in at the start of the fight there, but this orbital rate will rule the field. I mean, look, at the end of the day, orbital rate, healing and damage, still a pretty good ult. Even though they did nerf it recently as well, still exceptional.
Yes, you could still feel how much it can help out with a lot of these fights that really are just up close and personal. A lot of these fights are going to be front to back as well, so I feel like Orbital Ray really just helps to really push that presence over the top. Now that we're in this interesting scenario, Jack, like that, you know, 3.5 minutes are gone. Extinction actually could take the lead here in terms of this meterage, and they do. This checkpoint is so close as well. I'm not sure anybody's gonna come in and touch.
Oh, Scuff!
Oh, no, that's just a
that was so sad.
Down the abyss.
Yeah, Scuff dead. Well, on the high ground using a high noon from like light years away. But they got checkpoint roast, and that's what's important here. They did, using Scuff, sure, whatever. We got checkpoint. If we can just die on the bot, we can reset. A couple of us are going to get forwards, and we're going to be good to fight. Like, this is a good spot to be in halfway through the map.
Really good. I think too, especially with how much time is already taken off the clock. Like, this is like a winnable situation here for Extinction. That's crazy, though. Okay,
Lethal, I think, yeah, it must have body shot Zomba as well, because that's a very quick kill. And that entire reset, it's got Geekay used no ults. They get checkpoint now, and they're going to get in the lead. Yikes, yeah, Zomba going down. Not good for Extinction at all. And now they're fighting into an EMP and a Terror Surge.
Yeah, this should be an easy lead for Geekay to take. Not only do they get checkpoint here, so they've got these forward spawns, but Mimone is already set up and ready to go for this EMP. And even we talk about the rally not being enough. Sometimes there is no rally for Extinction. They're just gonna follow this if they all get caught by the EMP.
Oh, from the high ground, EMP is good for a kill onto Nenwai. Man, the entirety of Extinction, the game plan there was just jump on payload, maybe get a big Terror Surge, but that EMP was perfectly placed from W Mimone. And then Geekay extend the lead. That's 100+ meters now.
And this is looking real close to the finish line. You've got this rally. Lethal is going to use this high noon as well to make sure that Extinction can't actually come out of spawn just yet. Extinction do have that Orisa Terror Surge and the rally combo, so this is at least good enough to probably stop this from being a full capture now.
Well, Terra Surge and a bash from NY. Ultraviolet couldn't move. Character inoperable. As Geekay are going to lose this fight eventually, but still they got 116 meters. I mean, you're chilling.
It's such a big lead now. 4 minutes remaining. There's no gas left in the tank here for Geekay in terms of ultimates. So at least like Extinction, they probably can win out this fight in the neutral by this midpoint with the pulse and the orbital ray. It would be crazy if they don't win with the orbital ray. But then from there too, Geekay can just play defense. They have a pretty sizable lead now, 50 meters. Over 50 meters, actually, if I do math correctly.
You. Wow, my moan is dancing with death there. It was in amongst like 4 people. The invis, I was looking at the invis timer like, it's gonna run out eventually. Okay, eventually Zomba chases down the pesky Sombra, but Geekay managed to steal the bot away, Rose, and they're over the checkpoint again. So forward spawns available. Lethal dies. Resetting here is completely fine. If you're Geekay, die on point. You've got forwards. Your team can reset pretty quickly. You're happy with that.
Oh, they're so good at this. Like, as Geekay, we saw this on Flashpoint as well. Being able to back cap, being able to just kind of like take back control of a point, really throws the kind of like the pace of these fights off. And Zomba, wow. Oh my god, I can't believe Lethal actually just like somersaulted into my phone.
I mean, come on, that's a team kill. Lethal, come on, man. He's like, oh, I can save myself, guys, don't worry. My bone just perishes, explodes into a million pieces. All right, Terra Surge here for Cuffer. Ooh, Lethal from the high ground. Gets a little bit of damage, but that's about it. And now they have to deal with this orbital ray. Terra Surge is going to grab it in one. A window from Ultraviolet on this high ground. Not enough to actually save Admiral. In fact, this rally from Extinction is large and in charge. But unfortunately, the angle too great from Ultraviolet. Taking down Hattori like that, you needed to survive. As soon as that window disappears, you're in such a good spot if you're Extinction. They only managed to sneak away a couple of meters there as Geekay win the duel once again near their checkpoints.
And now with the 2 minutes remaining, you've got EMP to carry you through one fight, and then you're gonna have that Terra Surge and maybe even Amplification Matrix for the next one. It feels like Geekay have a very firm control on this situation so far, especially if Maimon can continue to get a big hack onto a critical target like tank. I think any of the supports should be fairly good to close out this map. Minute and a half now too, this is extending.
They've lost Lethal, but they're happy to continue this fight by the looks of it. Admiral popping the rally. They get Stunbury through there, but he's all good. Wub using the right click. Okay. Oh, there's another kill. Expending one ult, not too bad there, but Geekay know that with only a minute to go, like you said, you just need to ult dump for this last fight, and the EMP is perfect for that.
Yes, I mean, you still have the EMP. If like the fight extends, then you start to roll into the territory of having your own Terra Surge and maybe even this Amplification Matrix again. Like, Maimon first though, up to bat, and that's a big pick onto the tank.
Hit Sue, but it hit tank, and sorry, it was golden. So Wub, despite getting hit by the EMP as well, kills W Maimon. Ultraviolet now in a little bit of trouble though, but with the window, it could be a hard swing here for the BAP. A good lab too comes through. Cuffer is going to eventually fall down, but survived for way longer than he rightfully should have. 30 seconds to go, and Extinction are split. Zomba is on the point, but you're dealing with 4 members right now of Geekay.
Oh, I mean, it looks like things are gonna be really tough here for Extinction. Even with the Terra Surge, like, you have to kind of start things off with high noon and go from there, and still find a way to actually group everybody up. Maybe you win this next fight here with the ultimates that you have, but then it's gotta be perfection from there, and you don't get anybody.
No, got hacked out of the ult too. Man, W Maimon has been so annoying on the Sombra, to put it lightly. There's the high noon, dragged over the shields. He snipes Wub. Thank you very much, Hattori. I'll take that kill. A nice little flashbang into the headshot onto Zomba as well. That Ray walking away from Extinction right now, and so is this match. I mean, Ultraviolet, sure, again, going down here. Oh, doesn't go down, in fact. Tell a lie, sorry, UV. Didn't know you bored like that. Takes the 1v1 versus stuff, still keeping Cuffer up. I mean, it's OT, of course, so it's going to be hard for Ultraviolet to stay alive, but He's, of course, going to take the 1v2, even with the window. I mean, come on, son. Abral's back in the action as well. Hattori finally shuts UV down, and that rally will end it all. There it is, Geekay with a 3-0 in their only match of this week.
Wow, Ultraviolet is the hero of that map. That is the craziest 1v3 I've ever witnessed in my life. Actually wins out the duel versus the Juno, almost wins versus the Orisa. I mean, there's a reason why Ultraviolet has been continuously talked about as one of the best supports out of North America. He found himself on some of the best teams in the Overwatch League, so he continues to put up really big numbers in this match as well for Geekay.
Yeah, I mean, this was not Extinction's match to win. Geekay came in confident, and they did not play around. Looking at you here, Nightmare, because when Nightmare played against Extinction, they were having a little bit too much fun with it, and therefore did drop a bunch of maps as a result of that. Now, Geekay made this one clean, just across the board. Really well played. That said, Extinction did push back. They did fight back here and there. I mean, they managed to steal a round on Suravasa. There was some pushback here on Runasapi here as well. So overall, I think they still held their own.
Yeah, I mean, their next match is against Supernova. That's next week on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday, it's against SSG. So there's still hope here for Extinction. That bottom 2 spot isn't going to look too terrifying for them. Dildux, of course, being 0-6. And Supernova is going to be their kind of main opposition, kind of keeping them out of that spot. And they face them. So I think even with losing 3-0 here, I don't think anybody should be too worried if you're an Extinction fan. Plus, a lot of these players, you're going to be seeing them again anyway next stage. Like, they're too good not to be in the OWCS, so don't worry.
That's right. They are very, very likely going to keep themselves out of the promotion relegation zone for now, which is good. And then they can, you know, just work on some things. There will be a bigger break, of course, during EWC. So there's plenty of time for those teams who don't make it to that event to kind of, I don't know, go back to the drawing board, make some switches, make some changes, get some practice in, whatever. They looked good thus far this stage, and we're going to see more of them. And of course, we're also going to see much more of Geekay. The next match is going to be very, very exciting, and I do want to chat with them about that. And that's why we have Lethal joining us now for a quick chat. So let's bring him in. I hear some noises. Lethal, can you hear us?
Oh, hello. Hi.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Hi. Nice
Sorry,
to have you with us for a quick chat. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Lethal, we're going to make this one quick as well and let you go immediately after. I just want to get your thoughts about your upcoming match, because so far you kind of made the stage look like a breeze. Your toughest opponent is yet to come. You're going to be facing off against Nightmare in your last match of this stage. How do you think you and the team are stacking up against them?
I think we already faced our tougher opponents already, so now we just got to clean this up. Final game next week.
Ooh, okay.
All right, easy clap. All right. What movie's in the background? I'm curious now.
I think it's Hunger Games. I'm not watching it, so I think it's Hunger Games.
I was about to say, did you just casually watch Hunger Games whilst
Bro, who's
stomping your
watching it on the
opponents?
second monitor?
That's
a real
Aurora.
question though. I do want to ask about like the kind of Sojourn and Freya. We've seen a little less Freya over the last couple of days. Obviously, you tend to prefer Sojourn. Ash kind of hit scanny stuff. Is there a reason why Sojourn's being played a little less? Oh, sorry, Freya, not Freya. I meant Freya, not Sojourn.
I think Freya's still pretty decent. It's just I'm not as comfortable as her as I am on like Sojourn or Ash or Kree or like the other heroes. So we just tend to play to our strengths mostly, and that's kind of like our philosophy behind like the comps we play and like the style as well.
Could you actually speak on the Cassidy pickup? As of late, I feel like it's become a bit more important to a lot of the different teams in OWCS. I'm kind of wondering where you feel like the Cassidy strengths are and why you prefer to play that hero sometimes too in your comps.
I think the character, like the kit, is pretty strong. High burst damage, can, you know, tank a lot of stuff. And also just one of my better heroes as well. So it's a good counter comp against Freya because you can really 2-tap, especially long ranges too. It's kind of surprising since she has lower HP. And it's just tanking isn't
I mean,
sustained.
frankly-
That's why.
You kind of just look really good on any hero you play, let's be real. And that's why you're also our player of the match for this one, so congratulations. We're going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good rest of your week.